Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Destin Choice and you're watching Choice TV. So for today's video, I decided to really get on here and address this viral video of the Seed of Chucky, aka T.I.'s offspring, disrespecting 9-to-5 workers, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have seen this disgusting video.
First of all, that wasn't cooking my shit. Yeah, recook. What? That's mine right there, Hold up. Where yours at? This are you? So what? Hold up.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to go in here and J down.
I'm that bitch arguing all day long.
I'm about to go in here and J down. They got me fucked up. And I hope, nigga think I won't jump across that table. Alright, watch this. Watch this. Not right now. Thank you. What? Yeah, I ain't think smart while I'm in this motherfucker house. Show out. Watch me. Got customers. I don't give a fuck about no customers. Goddamn. It ain't no pickle on that. Bet everything that you work for is a pickle on. Like what? If it ain't no pickle on there, I'll give you $1,000 right now. Stop fucking playing with me. And I'ma look at my shit. Let it be some spit or something on it. Let it be some spit or something on my mouth. And what? I'm getting off live. But what I'm saying is, they wasn't.
You can talk like that outside.
Hey, I can talk how the fuck I want to wherever I'm at. I'm on live, shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your fucking restaurant. This ain't your fucking restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File show shit.
Come back.
What? On game what? On game what? Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come on. We out here. I'm outside.
Okay.
I'm outside. Come on, shake some.
He gonna get dropped while he plays.
Come on, shake some. Hey, get your employees. Yeah, fucking something in this. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. And you still talking inside though. You still talking inside though. Why you inside? Can't stop me from doing shit. Let me get my food. Thank you. Just talking like they like that. They ain't like that. Before I get back here and pistol whip them. Fuck. Before I get back here and pistol whip them. You trying to act all tough? All like this in front of all your people. Tell your mama I said Happy Mother's Day. And then cam in my face and shit. Like what? Why I slap her with this money?
So to make a long story short, T.I.'s offspring, the Seed of Chucky, decided to go inside of a Waffle House and bitch and moan about the fact that he had pickles on his sandwich. Now he made a big fuss and a big deal about the fact that he messed up his order, which I'm not gonna lie is justified, because I'll be honest, we've all been there to where sometimes we go somewhere, we go to a restaurant or we go to anywhere and they fuck up our orders. It's common. People will fuck up your orders, they make mistakes, they do bullshit, and sometimes they'll rectify and sometimes they won't rectify. You know, we've all had instances where we walk in somewhere and say, I want extra onions and I ask for extra tomatoes, and they'll be like, oh, well then I'll have to charge you an extra 50 cents for that. You know, bullshit like that. Or you walk in somewhere and you ask for sauce in your bag and they don't put the sauce in the bag and they say, oh, you didn't ask for it, or I don't remember. Well, I'm going to have to charge you like 20 cents for it. You know, a little petty shit like that. And I get why he was upset because he asked for no pickles on his burger. But for him to walk up in this bitch like this, I'm absolutely disgusted and mortified because his father is the same dude who grew up in West Atlanta selling crack to his community and doing bullshit in his community and going in and out of jail at 17, 18 years old just for his son to come out his way and disrespect 9-to-5 workers who have to actually make an honest living for themselves.
It's your fucking restaurant. This ain't your fucking restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you.
I really do see jail in his future, because to sit up here and to disrespect people and say that you're going to pistol whip them.
Before I get back here and pistol whip them.
First of all, your father grew up in the hood. You're not from the hood. And it's really unfortunate that T.I. is so caught up and so worried about his daughter's virginity and his daughter's hymen that he's not worried about his son's behavior. And to make matters even worse, T.I. decided to address the entire situation in the whole debacle. And T.I. went on live basically saying some real shit and then gaslighting everybody for addressing his son.
We were perplexed by his necessity to go back and forth with the short order cook. I didn't understand why he felt he needed to stop what he was doing to engage someone who was at such another level of life. You dig? I didn't understand that, and I had to explain to him that, you know, when people are not living the way they hope they would live, and here you is walking in with so much freedom and luxury, and you know people gonna posture themselves a certain way, so therefore you're gonna have to enjoy your life. You're gonna have to remove yourself from that energy and go enjoy your life. Why in the hell is it more newsworthy or noteworthy to report that than report the fact that the man graduated with honors? That's all. That's it. You dig? Of course I understand it. He don't understand it yet. He still got a lot of testosterone he working through. It's very remedial when it comes to the real meat and potatoes of the discussion.
To make a long story short, T.I. basically said, nobody's perfect, talk about the good, he's young, it is what it is. Because T.I.'s son King also went on live and he decided to finally address the debacle that happened in Waffle House 2 to 3 days ago. And this is what he said.
At that moment, it just threw my food on the ground and I could have just said, give me my money back. I didn't even eat the food. But it's just the principle. Like, you just did, like, you just really, like, slapped me in my face, threw my food on the ground, like, what? And then he told me to come outside and fight him. What? That's where it went over the top. That told me to step outside and fight him. What? So that's when I really turned up. Alright, bitch, I had to come out at the moment. That's what I was thinking at the moment. So that's where that happened. It wasn't no goddamn, I just went in there, chest out, macho, doing this and that. No. Because I wasn't even live like that. Like, I really kind of blanked out on that whole live shit.
So basically, he turned it into a "this is all about me" victimhood shit. And he definitely is his father's child, because T.I. is a blatant narcissist. T.I. can't even be faithful to his damn wife. T.I. can't take any accountability anytime people drag him for shit. And of course, his son did the exact same thing. So he really is his father's child. And I find that really cute and adorable how common it is for people to just flip the script when they go around disrespecting employees who cook their food. Because he flipped the script and made it seem like, well, he responded to me. Basically, the most childish response that even some adults will give. Where the minute you react to somebody's toxic behavior, all of a sudden you're wrong for getting disrespectful and responding to it. So when the Waffle House employee was like, oh, step outside, all of a sudden he in the wrong. And now T.I. and his son are flipping it on the employees for responding to him for being upset about his fucking burger that had pickles on it. Because he's lucky that's all that happened. Things could have got way worse. That employee could have had a whole gun, because first of all, there are some employees that don't have shit to lose and are willing to give you all the smoke. Like that one woman who threw a blender at a customer's face because the customer threw french fries and shit at her. Yeah, there are some people who are willing to give you that smoke.
In Cincinnati, a woman ordered a Happy Meal in the drive-thru. She noticed that her order was incorrect, so she went inside. We do that. That's normal. But she waited 25 minutes, and then she got frustrated. And instead of just walking away or calling corporate, she threw a bag at the manager. The manager then picked up a blender and then threw it at her face. Broke her cheekbone and her nose. McDonald's says they're now looking into the matter.
I'll say they should better look into that.
She's going to get a McCheck, a big one.
A McCheck.
Seriously. Watch this, watch. She threw the burger and then bam.
With a blender.
Look, she even lost a shoe. Wow. Did you see that? Look at her hands.
Oh, look
her
how
lip.
swollen she is.
That's her face. Is a Happy Meal, is it worth it?
And trust me, I know, these fast food workers will fuck up. I was one of these workers that fucked up. It happens. But trust and believe that you're not going to disrespect them just because they behind that counter. And I didn't feel bad for that woman that got a blender to the face. And I don't feel bad for the woman that got the blender to the face because at the end of the day, don't throw shit at people. Then let's talk about the woman who blasted a woman at Burger King because a customer threw mayonnaise on her. And I didn't feel bad for the customer who threw the mayonnaise because, yeah, it's messed up that somebody got blasted on, but don't throw stuff at people because King's situation, T.I.'s son situation, could have got worse like these situations.
According to police, was a Burger King worker. Witnesses seeing the whole thing.
It was a lady shooting at a man. I don't know where she even got the gun.
Officers say it started yesterday when a man pulled up to the drive-thru at this Burger King along Northwest 47th Avenue near the Palmetto Expressway just after 4 p.m. The woman working the window, identified as 30-year-old Shatisha Hicks, was seen arguing with that man when he suddenly drove off. But instead of backing down, witnesses say Hicks left the restaurant, grabbed a gun out of her car, and fired off 5 rounds as the man drove away.
He was making faces at her through the car window out here in the road. And that's when he pulled in here and that just set her off.
Investigators say Hicks then left the scene in her own car, but was later arrested after officers found it abandoned about a mile away near her home. The man who was shot at was never found. We stopped by that home and spoke to Hicks's aunt, who says she was simply defending herself after the man threw mayonnaise on Hicks while she worked at the drive-thru.
And this woman is from my city too. Gang, 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 gang. You don't throw stuff at people. For him to get on camera and job shame people and say that he could buy this whole establishment, he make more than them. First of all, that's your father's money. And this kid is only 17 years old. So I can't really hold him too much at a high pedestal because he's only 17. But he's also old enough to know better. But at 17, I will say that one of these days, life is going to hit him really hard. He don't know who father, who uncle, who girlfriend, who wife, whose sibling that was that you said you were trying to pistol whip, telling them to shut the fuck up, telling them to fix your order. You don't know whose parent that is. And he's very privileged. So you never know someone could pull up on his ass, pull his ass up for ransom, kill him, do fucked up shit to him. You don't know what kind of bullshit he can get himself into because you're recording these things on live. It's a matter of time before somebody pulls up on his ass, film the whole shit on live, and then catch a lick and embarrass his ass. And in spite of him being 17, he needs to understand that karma is very real and it comes for everybody regardless of who you are. And money does not make you untouchable, nor your star power, nor who your parents are. A good example is Lil Tay. Lil Tay was the 9-year-old Asian girl going around saying the N-word, talking about how she's the biggest flexer of the generation, the youngest flexer, calling everybody broke and how they need to quit their 9-to-5 jobs and all types of shit. And then some hood dudes in LA pulled up on her ass and showed her what was up.
Lil Tay, right? You in trouble? You Lil Tay, right? You want to flex? Oh, I want to see you flex one time. I like that fly shit. Alright. She ain't flexing today. She nervous.
Yeah, you gotta put that shit
Alright.
on Instagram.
She nervous. Talk something. The real nigga pull up. They nervous. Alright.
It's a matter of time before shit like that happen. Because for him to boast about being a killer, for him to boast about the fact that he's going to beat somebody's ass, is literally a brief reminder that he is still not out of that high school mentality despite graduating high school a few weeks ago. Now, I find it very interesting how this young man just graduated high school and he still hasn't snapped into reality yet. And it would have cost nothing to simply address the worker, address the employees, and say, hey, this is messed up, please rectify it, and then they would have rectified it. Now, come to find out, he didn't even really take the food in the first place. He went in there cussing, acting crazy, acting wild, talking shit on live. They asked him to watch his language, and then he threw the sandwich on the floor after the worker had told him to step outside real quick. When we're all in high school and we're young, we all have this mindset of, oh, I don't care, I'm gonna skip class, I'm gonna talk back, I'm gonna disrespect whoever I want. Little did you know that when you get into the real world, people aren't going to be as patient with you as these teachers that deal with a lot of bullshit. These teachers are paid to tolerate students, deal with students' bullshit, and much more. But the real world is not going to tolerate your shit. You threaten somebody saying that you're going to pistol whip them, you're going to die, bitch. And it really just goes to show that his privilege is showing, because you come from a lot of money. You have a privileged background. You grew up living in fucking country clubs, partying in fucking Beverly Hills, having vacations in Amsterdam. And I see Joe in his future because he doesn't respect himself. He doesn't respect other people around him. Now, here's the issue. When you go around starting a ruckus like that, starting bullshit like that, it's a reflection of the shit that you do in your home. It's a reflection of how you are at home. Because it's one thing that his dad says, oh, well, he's an honor student. That's nice. But this is a reflection of his parents' parenting style. Because if his parents raised him to be condescending and look down at people, and then for T.I. to even justify and validate it with, oh, don't argue with a short order cook, people like that aren't on your level. That did nothing but prove a lot of our points that his parents really are the problem. Now, a year ago, I came across this video on YouTube of a police officer explaining why a lot of men go down the wrong path and go to jail. And this pretty much interconnects with T.I.'s son.
If you take a circumstance like the restaurant issue, you know, you're in a restaurant and your kid acts up and you give your kid a little bit of a disciplinary crack and some table sticks their nose in your business and you get arrested, you will never do that again. And then your kid is going to get away with murder. And your kid goes to school, doesn't listen to the teachers. Or worse, teacher decides to discipline, you're not having any of that, so then you get the teacher fired because you associate that with what happened when you went to school and you defend your little kid and all of their bad actions. Go through life. You know, now your bosses, you got a kid who gets a job and they don't want to work at the job, so they mouth off to the boss, or they don't have any work ethic. Then they get to us, the ultimate authoritarians, who are really only middlemen. We do nothing but, well, we keep the peace and maintain order in a free society. We are law enforcers. We don't make the laws, and we're not the judges who are handing out the punishment for the laws. You really don't hate us. You hate what we represent, which is holding you, your behavior and actions and addressing those. We don't have a black problem and a white problem. If you really look, the one thing about the statistics that you see online that I really wish they would show is it's males. And it's teen males. You have these over-the-top testosterone teen males with no guidance, who have no discipline. And this is the result from today of what we're seeing, why we have a problem with the public and the police. You really have to look at the problem. The problem is simply parenting and compliance. You didn't teach your kids how to comply to your rules, and that trickled down to what we have going on.
But I hope you guys understand where I'm going with this, and that's why I see jail in this young man's future, because for him to act out like that, go around threatening people, going out trying to fight people, telling people to step outside, all that stuff, antagonizing people, causing a ruckus, if they were to call the police on his ass, they'd be wrong, right? But yet he's disturbing the entire restaurant. So that's what I mean when I say I can see jail in his future, because you don't go out acting like that, especially not going around threatening people, especially going around talking about people's mothers and then playing victim about it when they tell you to step outside and fight them if there's a problem. At the end of the day, both parties are wrong, and the restaurant could have easily ignored him because the customers are always right. Sadly, that's the mantra that we have to repeat when we work for customer service. But at the end of the day, this is why I see his life going down the wrong path if he keeps acting like this, and if his dad keeps enabling with, well, he's young. He's about to be 18 soon. He recently graduated high school damn near weeks ago. Why is it the fact that his age is constantly brought up with, well, he's young? I get it. Be young all you want, but be ready for the real world, because you can't act up like this in the real world. High school is one thing, but the real world is something completely different. I get people are young, and when you're young, you're a teenager, you do stupid shit. And if there was a camera following me, you, or a lot of us around when we were kids, we would probably be filmed doing some fucked up shit. But that's almost like when your 4-year-old throws a whole tantrum and starts spitting on people, and you excuse it with, well, they're just young, they'll grow out of it. Sometimes people don't grow out of it. And that's a big reason why a lot of us go around this world and we meet some childish ass adults that do stupid shit, petty shit, lie, do stupid shit they shouldn't be doing, manipulate, do vindictive shit, and much more. People really don't grow out of it sometimes. So when you carry this behavior with you from when you're 17 and you're already out of high school, about to turn 18, about to be an adult, I want to see how the real world is going to treat him and humble him, because the real world is going to humble you really, really quickly, because your father can't be everywhere to save you every single time. There's going to be a matter of time before he pulls up on the wrong adult and they fuck him up because he'll be 18 very soon. Because keep in mind that it's one thing to do shit like this in high school, talk back to teachers, get nasty, get feisty with the other kids, but it's another thing to do this shit in the real world where somebody will legit fuck you up. When you're a teenager, you can do whatever you want in the law, get in trouble, do stupid shit, and the law is a lot more empathetic. They'll usually give you a slap on the wrist and let you slide, and your record will be erased, or you won't even get a record in the first place when you're a teenager. And it's clear that he doesn't have a sense of self, so he wants to possess his father's identity. It seems like he probably doesn't like the fact that he comes from riches and he lives in his father's shadow, because that'll probably be a big reason why he never gets taken seriously in life. Because everyone around him is always going to use him or want to be around him because of who he's acquainted with and what he has. We saw this kid grow up on TV before our very eyes, living in this big-ass mega mansion, just for him to turn around and shit on the same 9-to-5 workers that supported his TV show, that supported the show that he was on, that supported his father's music and supported his mother's music and their careers throughout their entire endeavors. But I can't really get mad at that. He's his own person, and I think the fact that his father is who he is what makes it worse. Considering his father's from the hood, comes from a lifestyle that he ain't used to, comes from a lifestyle of riches, maybe he wants his own identity, maybe he wants his own struggle, but he feels like he has to live in his father's shadow, and that more so amplifies the anger that he has balled in. Maybe that's why he gets angry at the world. Maybe that's why he felt the need to lash out like that, because it seems like it really wasn't about the pickles in his damn sandwich. It seems like it was more so about some shit he had going on in himself internally. Because he loves to boast about how he's from the hood and how he's this and that, and he claimed this and claimed that in his music. But yet, his father and mother made a whole joke about him claiming the hood in their recent IG Live.
Hey, King say you and him from the South. Hey, King, you're from the suburbs, sir. You're from the suburbs, sir.
And I could use the same example for little Boozy's son, who loves to claim the hood every chance he gets in his music, but he grew up in wealth and privilege also. Now we all know that insecurities are very loud. So to see him boast about killing people, pistol whipping, seeing Mr. King Harris boasting about how he got more money than everybody in that shit, that should go to show you that he knows deep down inside that that money he has doesn't really make him feel as adequate as he likes to perceive it to be. He doesn't feel as adequate as he likes to portray. Because if you really feel like you're better than these people, why do you feel like you have to constantly bring up that you're better than them and then flash the money to prove it? Why you gotta talk about the money that's in your pocket? Why not just be who you are? Why not get recognized? Because who's to say they even recognized him? They probably didn't even know who the fuck he even was. But the fact that he felt the need to slap the money on the phone and brag about it, maybe he's so used to people kissing his ass because of who his family is and being nice to him in order to be in his presence. So the minute people stood up to him and spoke out against him and said, hey, don't bring that spoiled brat shit here, this is not the suburbs, immediately his confidence got lowered and he felt the need to prove himself. I done been job shamed before, so it really makes me disgusted when I see people who actually have money do it to people who don't really have it like how they have it. It's disgusting, because the truth is this: money will only amplify your character. But this kid who's only 17, probably going to be 18 very soon, needs some humbling classes, because he just graduated high school and he's in a predicament where eventually he can't even rely on his parents no more. Because you're 17 now, you feel on top of the world because your parents got money. That money that you're flipping on camera, that's your parents' money. All those resources that you have, those are your parents' resources. What happens when you get older and you got to take care of yourself? What happens when your parents cut you off because they don't want you living off of them? And then eventually you got to get a regular job like regular fucking people. What happens when your music career don't work out and you have to get a regular job and you can't live off your parents like that? No, and I want to say that this is one of my biggest fears, and I really hope a lot of y'all watching this who aspire to have children in the future, don't raise a spoiled brat like this. Because that's the one thing I really don't want, is I would never want to raise a spoiled brat, because if I raise a child that thinks that it's okay to shit on people, all in all, the moral of the story is this: if somebody fucks up your food and makes a mistake, you can get pissed about it. You have every right to get pissed about some shit that you paid for. But do not sit up here and disrespect somebody without giving them a chance to rectify a situation. If somebody makes a mistake, give them an opportunity to hold themselves accountable, rectify it, and then be out. There's no need to just be like, oh, fuck this shit, I don't give a fuck about no customers. Who the fuck raised these people? Oh, I know. Mr. Hyman, who can't be faithful to his damn wife, and Tiny, who keeps taking his cheating ass back. But clearly he's too young to understand the concept of karma and to understand the concept that what goes around comes around, and you could be in that very same predicament in the next 10, 20 years. Because your parents may be filthy rich, But just because that's your parents' money, that don't mean it's your money. So eventually you'll get to a point where you won't be able to support yourself no more because you can't rely on your parents' income. And eventually you'll get to a point where you might be in that same predicament because, oh, it's all fun and games now until somebody loses an eye. For T.I., it's all fun and games for T.I. to say, well, he young, it is what it is, it is what it is what it is. It's all fun and games now. But wait until he decides to carry this shit into his adulthood. Wait for him to carry this into his 20s. His parents aren't going to be kikiing and laughing anymore. They'll get to a point where they cut him off. Let him get into the wrong hands where he meets the wrong person who gets him arrested for making a serious threat like that, and he gets arrested. Let's see what happens then. Let's see what happens next. That's all I'm going to say. You know, I'm all for kids being kids, and kids will be kids, but 17, just graduating high school, this is not a good start. And then to film the entire thing, post it, and then have your own parents enable your behavior, that's pretty shameful if you ask me.
I understand that. He don't understand it yet. He still got a lot of testosterone he working through. But the point is, regardless of that situation, man, is very remedial when it comes to the real meat and potatoes of the discussion. Okay? Why in the hell is it more newsworthy to report that this man got into an argument with a short order cook, and less important to speak about the fact that he graduated with honors on the A&B honor roll?
Because he doesn't know who the fuck these people are. How do you know this man that was working these jobs aren't trying to support their family, aren't struggling to pay their hospital bills, or aren't hustling so that way they can pay off their college tuition? How do you know these people aren't at a position where they're trying to hustle and get to a point where they can take care of them and their family and then eventually become rich in the near future, or working on the side hustle on the side? How do you know these people aren't working on something? How do you know that? You know? Let's see how far that mentality gets you, because I know a lot of adults like that who pretty much deflect from blame and want to point out the finger and say, oh, well, you did that. Those are people who are still stuck in their childish ways. Those are people who still are stuck in their inner child, where they're a child on the inside, but an adult on the outside. Because it's one thing to be a Karen, but it's another thing to physically try to assault somebody or threaten somebody. But that's all I got to say on that. Hope you guys learned something from this. Hope you guys gained something from this. Please be sure to let me know what you guys think about this entire situation in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch. Mama always told me be careful who I love, and Daddy always told me make sure he's right. I didn't always know, with your eyes. I'm thinking for the 4-page letter, and how it opens here to me, and when I'm right here, she better give up time. I'm looking for the 4-page letter, and I up the fears to me. You get on time, right here, and better than time. Me, until the other night. That's all you get for free. Stream my podcast everywhere.